Brisbane. My name is James. We're on Beaufort Street. You can hear the traffic. Nice, noisy. On the cafe strip, and I have an interesting guest, someone I've never met till about 3 minutes and 30 seconds ago. And who are you?
My name is Miranda Lynton. I am a viner.
A viner.
I will be an ex-viner in a couple of months. It's been a great platform for me. I started in the middle of 2015, I think, or September or so. And the way that I got my start is I got revined by a bigger viner. And from then on, it just sort of was like a roll-on effect. And from then on, I've made some of my best friends who I'm yet to meet, who I will meet next year from the US. I'm way more confident in my ability to create now because of the way that the community treats you at Vine. And yeah, I'm a viner.
We should talk about what a viner is.
What a viner is?
Because I can guarantee you that 5 people in Perth know what Vine is. I bet people in Perth barely know what Twitter is. And Vine is a product of Twitter.
Yes, Vine is very much an American thing. Vine is a video sharing app that was created in 2013 where you can share 6-second videos that loop, whether that be music or art or comedy. It was meant initially to be for like art and nature and making things beautiful, but it ended up being a comedy platform. So it started in 2013. It got really, really big. And now in 2016, due to monetizing issues and Twitter's own issues, it's going to be discontinued. But yeah.
This was big news yesterday. And that's why how I came about reaching out to you to get on the podcast, because I actually have you on a list of interesting people that I was going to stalk one day. But this may be like, oh crap, I got to get in now before,
before I fail on Instagram.
Yeah. So basically it's an app, right, that you can download and you can quickly record. People in Perth love Snapchat.
Do they?
Snapchat is huge.
Okay. Well, I have people on
Massive.
Snapchat from Vine, but I never knew that it was...
I think it's more a circle of friends. Like people follow some big celebrities and they follow their friends. And I hate Snapchat with passion. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to this world.
What, the narcissism?
Not just the narcissism, because they have that on Instagram. The thing about it is it's just such terrible quality, and people actually use the app. Because they may have changed this, but you can't actually... You have to import something into it, you have to actually use the app. You can't just record something on the regular camera app, get a really high quality video, and then
That's true.
Then import it into Snapchat and put it so that when you want to, eventually your Snapchat becomes huge news. Like there were people filming like the Paris terrorist attacks on Snapchat. They actually went to the time to open the app. It takes about 20 seconds longer than just opening the camera app on an iPhone and quickly taking video. They could, these people could have getting the useful evidence to help capture the terrorists, but they were putting it on their Snapchat to get points from their friends.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
If you're in a plane crash, the first thing a lot of people think of is, get your iPhone out and start recording. But, on Snapchat they have the My Memories now, which I don't like. It's just confusing. But you can upload videos, but they're not good quality. They dilute the quality to upload it.
But at least you have the quality original rather than the crappy thing. Vine, on the other hand, is completely different because you're actually creating something that's completely unique. It's like a medium. It's a medium in itself.
Yeah, it's...
So I think you have to... I don't know what they do, what the cool kids do, but originally on Vine you had to make it inside the app.
You did. You had to... I didn't start when you had to record inside the app. I know exactly what it looked like at the start. You had to... hold down, record with your finger. You couldn't upload from your camera roll. But a lot of people think that Vines take no time at all to make, but they if you make it outside of Vine, it takes a long time. If you make an effort with it, it will take a couple of hours. Yeah. And some people say, "Oh, it's fine. Why are you bothering?" I'm just it's what I want to create. It's what people enjoy. I get feedback from it, so I'm going to take my time.
And it was an interesting idea because it was probably an engineering decision. Why did they pick you can only record for 6 seconds? It's probably the engineer was like, oh, this would be cheaper for bandwidth for us, so we don't have to put huge videos and deal with all that crap that YouTube has to deal with, because YouTube's never made a profit or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's so expensive to send huge videos around the world to millions of people.
Yeah, and I would assume...
But it was, I don't know who originally came up with it, but it was eventually, by the time it was released, it was owned by Twitter. And Twitter's famous for being able to only have 140 characters, so you have to really think about what you're writing about, kind of thing. Not that people do. But
yeah, they've got a lot of trolls on there.
Yeah,
But Vine was the creator, or one of the creators, one of the three tweeted yesterday. He was like, "Don't sell your company!" !
Yeah.
Which I think, you know, they got $30 million, so $10 million each for Vine when they sold it. But you know, you can't you can't regret it. What's done is done. Twitter just didn't know how to manage it. They didn't.
Twitter doesn't know how to manage their own app.
Yeah.
Let alone another app.
Well, yeah, Disney.
I think Periscope's going to be the next chopping thing on the block, because
I've started on Periscope, but there's this new app also from Vine creators called Hype, which is like Periscope, but it's hyped basically. Like you can put sparkles and yeah, you can literally like upload images and, you know, emojis and all this shit, which is, it's just, I don't like it. But Periscope is easy. I like Periscope, but yeah, Instagram is where I'm going to have to go.
Yeah, well, anyway, it was interesting. Like, okay, you got 6 seconds. What can you do with it? And like you said, they didn't know what they want to do with it. But people who were funny came on pretty quick and started making short films, basically 6-second short films.
Well, yeah.
Is it? I mean, even before Vine, there was like a famous YouTube channels called 5-second short films, and people did some really crazy stuff.
I have not heard of that.
Yeah, check it out.
Okay.
It was really interesting. But I think those people were like, wow, there's an app that you can just. This is a whole platform dedicated to publishing that kind of content. Mm-hmm. The first person I came across was probably Will Sasso.
I loved Will Sasso with
comedian.
the lemons.
Yeah, because I listened to a lot. I'm more of a podcast person, and I listened to a lot of podcasts, and a lot of the comedians there, you know, when they just jumped on Vine, they loved it, being able to just put really funny, simple things on.
Well, it was for the people that started when it started, they made the best choice they have ever made in their lives. I got on a bit too late. I don't regret it, but they are the people who started when it started are now YouTubers. They're now incredibly famous. Yeah. So Vine made them. So, you know.
You get a few million hits and people Pepsi started saying, hey, if you happen to include a Coke in your Vine, we'll give you,
or detergent, washing detergent, that's happened.
We'll give you a couple of bucks for every 1,000 views or something.
Yeah.
So you joined, but you're in Perth. You're in the most remote city in the world. Mm-hmm. Complete opposite side of the world of Los Angeles, which is probably where a lot of the big stars are
LA
based.
and New York, yeah.
So what? And you saying you got friends out of it, but they're from all over the world. Yeah,
like I have. Well, they're mainly from the US, and well, basically, the first time I got Revined, which is where I started gaining a following, was from a girl called Sarah Shower. Mm-hmm. She does this like waitressing Vine series. Her whole Vine platform is being sarcastic, basically. And she had like 500,000 followers. She got really famous really fast, but she revined it. And then from then on, once you start gaining a following, you get recognized by other people. If you share it on Twitter, and then you're followed by other Viners on Twitter, they'll see it, they'll go back to Vine, they'll revine you. And then immediately, everyone from Vine is so incredibly friendly. Like, they'll message you as soon as they find your stuff. They'll be like, oh my God, we're best friends now. Like, I want to meet you so bad. Like, everyone is just so...
How do they message you? Inside the app?
Inside the app. The messaging inside the app is terrible. It's glitchy as all hell. But, yeah, like... And then everyone immediately wants to become your friend, because that's the type of community it is. Like, they appreciate what you create, and then you're friends.
It's a super creative community.
Oh yeah.
I barely dabbled in it. The main reason I use it is because SpaceX, the space rocket company, publishes their rocket explosions when they fail on there.
Oh the
6-second explosions.
I'll have to have a look before it dies.
I'm sure some of their... We're talking earlier, we need to put a tax on noisy cars.
Yep.
These people should be paying for us to put up with their noise. Oh yeah, they put their videos up, and so that's what the only reason I go back to it is to check out their explosion videos, which I imagine a lot of mainstream people do, because even if they don't care about space. They love seeing things blow up.
Love seeing violence, yeah.
So what was the video that got you revined?
The video that got me revined. Well, Sarah Shower started a hashtag series, which a lot of big Viners do, called Annoyed Valentine's Server. So basically, someone on Valentine's Day who's a waitress or whatever and is annoyed by how, lovey-dovey and cliche people are being on Valentine's Day. So I did one of those. I don't know, I can't exactly remember the script, even though it's 6 seconds. But she revined that, and she revined a lot of other people. And I already had content on Vine before that, but it wasn't big. And then, people see you, they follow you, they go back to your other stuff, and then it just keeps going. And I immediately I didn't really care about Vine before that point. I tried, but when they didn't have certain comedy sections in the homepage and all that sort of stuff where you could discover other people, it was very hard to get noticed. But then once I got revined, I was like, oh shit, maybe I should start doing this properly. And then from then on, I did. I made an effort, and by the end of it right now, I'm nearly at 29,000 followers, which is not great, but I still have a mountain of people who, when I spoke about moving to Instagram from Vine at the end of it, they have sent me like essay-long messages saying that, I took them through their darkest days and that they will always follow me wherever I go. And I was just like, this type of love cannot come from any other app. I feel like Instagram is great, but it's so disconnected. Vine is just like, everyone is committed to you, and that's what I got like a day ago, like all of these messages. It's just,
It's pretty much all, it's created its own culture. Rather than Instagram, video is kind of like an afterthought.
Yeah.
And, it's more about
more about bikini pics.
Yeah.
It's not, there's no real culture there. It's just, it's more about narcissism, which is, I hate that word, but it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Instagram destroyed the world.
Well, I'm moving to it.
Snapchat's the worst.
So Snapchat. Well, I use Snapchat to make comedy. Like.
Right. Yeah. You can use any tool. Can be great if it's used properly.
I don't use it.
But you're a creator. You're not. It's just can't get over these people that they either put content because it gets deleted. It's like a pyramid scheme. It gets deleted each day. You've got 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to watch it, or this is the memories feature. No, the stories feature.
Yes.
You have to watch it, or it gets deleted. So you have to go to the app every day, or you might miss something.
Yeah.
But because it is deleted, sometimes people put up just rubbish content that is just not interesting. Because if it was actually good, you'd think they would put it on a permanent thing like Instagram, or it was actually worth watching. Yeah, no, exactly. You wouldn't let it be deleted after 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, anyway. I save a lot of stuff from there and then put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because
So what were you doing before Vine? You went to. You told me you went to Mount Lawley High School.
I went to Mount Lawley. I've done a couple of degrees that I haven't finished. Actually, because of Vine, I'll speak about this briefly. Because of Vine, I have been inspired to start doing screen production next year. Because I feel like I should do what I actually want to do. But before Vine, I started a degree in politics and psychology. That didn't work out because I like politics outside of university and I didn't want to do double the work.
Yeah. And
then I did communications at UWA. That didn't work out, but I've kind of come full circle, and Vine really, like, I felt like I had a purpose. I still feel like that because it's, it's not dead yet, but it gave me a purpose. I felt like I didn't have one before it, and now I have the confidence to create and do what I want to do instead of feeling like I have to do like, medicine, law, something like that. Get like a conventional degree, which sounds so white privilege of me, but I want to do what I want to do because it has been proven somewhat that I could, hold an audience.
So what were you doing creatively before Vine? Like, were you doing comedy or
I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't
improv class?
I wasn't doing anything. And then I always had these type of ideas in my mind that I have on Vine. These strange to other people, but funny to some. I always had them in my head, but I never really thought to pick up my iPhone and do it. And then there was an app that was exactly that.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, I'll do that. And yeah.
Also, I mean, explain what some of the stuff you kind of do, because I know you do different versions of yourself talking to each other.
Yeah, like I'll do ones.
Doppelgangers.
I'll do ones where they're literally just me talking to myself, being two characters, and they will take about 30 seconds to film.
Yeah.
And they're just, sometimes I improvise them, like I'll be in my best friend's lounge room and I'll think, oh, okay, just put on an accent and then just do something. I like to do like American, like southern accents like that, but like with it's, as a stereotype. But no one really gets offended. But yeah, I do the character ones back and forth. They take about 30 seconds. Or I'll do ones that have like music dubbed over them, and they take about a couple of hours just to do framing and make sure that it's all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of it for me is characters or incorporating music into a comedic idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the characters mainly.
The one that it sticks. I mean, I've tried to. I was literally looking for your origin. What was your origin? So I was like scrolling back in your feed because I haven't used Vine in ages. I don't think I even follow you, but I have had your
Twitter,
the actual page bookmarked.
Oh, okay.
And I think I follow you on Instagram. So I was going through your feed. I was trying to find the origin. The one that really stuck out to me, because I was going to ask you about, is there's one about the Aussie road worker.
Oh, Aussie tradeswoman?
Aussie tradeswoman in a high-vis vest. And
that is actually, do you know where I filmed that? Literally in that car park.
I recognise the,
yeah.
I wondered, because it's a very simple outfit, but you probably would have had to go...
I didn't, my friend was like, I was like, oh, we have a couple of minutes, let's make a Vine. He's like, oh, I've got my high-vis and my helmet in my car. Yeah. Let's just do this. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I improvised something.
So that was an off-the-cuff thing.
It was off the cuff, yeah. It wasn't planned.
Good. Yeah. It's hard to tell which ones are off the cuff or what. I was in there.
Rubbish truck.
You could really... I could see that being something you'd had in your mind for ages, this Aussie tradeswoman character.
Well, it's good to play to your... Yeah. To your nationality, but yeah. So
it's funny, it's only 6 seconds, and yet that's kind of like... That sounds like a great comedy character. For a skit.
Yeah. And Americans especially, because they're the largest audience on there, they love Australians and they love the stereotype and the accent. And, if you accentuate it a bit, they love it even more. So, yeah. And 6 seconds also, I think, is great because people's attention span is not great. Yeah. And things that loop, it makes it's more entertaining if you can see a continuous... It wasn't actually very easy to loop at the start of Vine. I actually got onto it when they had the loop feature. Yeah. So the music would loop with the actions. Yeah. But say Nicholas Megalis, who was massive on there, he had to loop his own stuff with music, which is very, very difficult at the start.
Oh, yeah, that would have been insane.
Yeah. But...
I made a short film and I wanted to put a trailer on Instagram just because I have more... I don't have many followers, but they're more... have better engagement on Instagram. I have better engagement on Instagram.
Yeah.
My 100 followers on Instagram actually do it rather than my 400 followers on Twitter just don't give a stuff about anything I do. Mm-hmm. And... But when they first released video on Instagram, which was directly to compete with Vine, it was like 11 seconds or something was the limit.
I think, 11. And for people who have established themselves on there, it's like a minute.
I think now you can put up 2 minutes now. Yeah. They've thrown out the wall. But I remember trying to make a teaser trailer for my film in 11 seconds, which is like, or 12 seconds, it was just double what Vine has. Mm-hmm. And I put 2 shots and a title card, and that was it.
It is, yeah.
And it was so hard to do that. And that was double what you have. Mm-hmm. And your clips are actually... tell a better story than like that.
It is. I don't know how all of us do it. Yeah. I would spend a lot. On some Vines I would spend half an hour, trying my best to cut a clip by 0.2 of a second, and then cut another one so that it looped, so that people could actually understand what I was doing, or they could see what I was holding without But yeah, it was sometimes very hard to cut it all together in 6.5 seconds. It forces you to be way more creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought on Instagram I saw pictures of you in America. Did you go over there to meet people? Or you just happened to be?
I've been there 3 times. I went the first time with my dad. I went the second time also with my dad. And then the third time I went to Coachella, the music festival. And I wasn't big on Vine then, so I didn't meet any of them.
Okay.
But I'm going next April, and we're all going to have a meetup in New York.
Okay.
So it's going to be like...
Just your fans or this other Viners?
No, all of the big proper Viners,
Yeah.
all of my friends, we're all going to meet up in New York. And we were actually doing a Google Hangout yesterday and all crying about Vine ending.
It was quite emotional.
Were you
teared up? Was that
yes.
for effect or was that?
No, that was real. Like I read the article at like 1 a.m. and I was like, oh, haha, that's a funny joke.
Yeah.
And then I realised it was real.
I don't know if we said this at the top, but Twitter is closing down Vine. They're keeping the actual videos up, but they won't let you publish at some point, right?
Yeah, you can't post after a certain point. They will get rid of the app so no one can upload again. But we were speaking about this in the Google Hangout, me and other Viners. We think because they're keeping the page up to keep the content, to keep us happy, and because it is such a creative outlet, but I think also with the possibility of someone buying it again in the future, which I would love. But by that point, we might have all moved on to, Twitter and Instagram. So
I feel like they could have integrated it better into the Twitter app so that... Because Twitter is just not very good at the moment. It's dying.
It is dying. It's Facebook and Instagram and YouTube that are the big things.
And the Vines were some of the best content on Twitter.
I know. They made it so big on Twitter. You knew that if you wanted it to be popular, you posted it on Twitter. Yeah.
There's lots of snarky tweets from the tech community, which I follow more than the... Because they announced this news right before like the big Apple event to try and bury the news a bit. And
sneaky Twitter.
So everyone was talking about how, because their financials are bad and no one wants to buy the company, Twitter themselves, no one wants to buy Twitter themselves, and they're trying to find a buyer. And apparently a lot of the companies that were interested in buying would just hate all the bullying and the nasty stuff because it's been taken over the Donald Trump fans. Basically, it's become Trump's platform. That's what's been branded as now. I guess he's the most successful person on Twitter.
Yeah, well, Twitter has announced that they won't take any action on the trolls until after the presidential election because that has what Twitter is basically the presidential election. That's where you go to see everything about it. Yeah. That is, that's the social media app for the election. So they're not going to, they said they're not going to cut down on trolls until after the election.
But yeah, a lot of people saying it's not a surprise that no one wants to buy Twitter because they're promoting trolls and closing down their most creative community. It just seems crazy to me. But
The problem I have with them closing down Vine is I know that, and other people who have moved from Vine to other platforms have spoken about this already in YouTube videos and all that. I love everything they did for us and all other Viners, but they never, as sad as it is, they never monetized the app. They forced creators to make Vines that were advertisements instead of incorporating that into the app. Yeah. And I know that we all hate ads on apps, but that is the reality. And they always tried to. Vine has always clearly tried to stay out of that because they're that type of app. But they could have saved themselves.
It's interesting. I mean, obviously, you're sort of telling people to come over to your Instagram feed. Instagram obviously has a video feature now because of Vine, and Instagram had a bit of a lull there for a while because everyone was moving to Snapchat. But I've noticed they've just copied Snapchat's feature, and people seem to be, at least in my feed, are coming back and using Instagram more.
I don't think Instagram Stories is not the same. I think Snapchat works way better than Instagram Stories because Instagram Stories is just people promoting their Snapchat. Yeah. But
I actually screenshotted before Instagram Stories came out, and there was a big lull. I actually screenshot an ad from McDonald's in Instagram saying, "Come over to our Snapchat." Snapchat, which is crazy that Instagram approved that ad.
Yeah. They probably don't care. They're probably just like, yeah, money.
So you're going over to Instagram, and I think there's a good chance that you guys can move over and do the same thing there. You know, it doesn't. The audience for Instagram isn't as stagnant as Vine is, because I feel like Vine became big, and it sort of stayed the same.
It's stagnated.
But on Instagram, the mums and dads are joining it, you know, now.
Yeah. Well, the Instagram video, I don't know what you call them. Instagram videos, I don't know. They are the people who used to be big on Vine, Lele Pons, King Batch, Rudy Mancuso, all that sort of stuff. And I personally, I don't, you know, my opinion is I do not like their comedy. It's very sometimes racist. It's about infidelity, or it's just, you know, it's just very plain and not creative at all. But they better be afraid of big Viners who actually stayed on Vine coming over to Instagram, because they have way better content, and they will dominate Instagram, and, you know, not take the platform away from them, but, you know, take away a bit of their ego, which is good, because I think their egos are incredibly inflated, the ones who have made it to millions. But yeah, like I'm obviously not going to get all of my 29,000 followers over to Instagram. That's not plausible. Half of them are probably bots, who knows. Yeah. But I have... Or
people who used it, found it funny, but they haven't come back. They're not active, you know, monthly active users. Whatever the stat is they use.
Well, yeah, it used to be 100 million monthly active users. Now it's 10 million monthly active users on Vine. But I have a lot of people that have already come over to Instagram and messaged me. I've gained, I think 700 followers in like a day and a half up, because I asked people on Vine. I was like, I hated having to do it immediately, but I thought people are already going to be dropping the app when this announcement came. So I've got to get on it. I've got to promote my Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat or whatever. So I was like, I'm going to be sharing my videos on Instagram. If you want to see them, come over. So people came over. Yeah. People messaged me. They're like, please don't ever, you know, stop creating. I will follow you wherever you go. And I was, you know, I was already crying, so I wasn't helping.
Is it easy to transfer the videos over?
Yes,
Do they automatically save to your phone when you make them? Or?
Yes, they do automatically save to your phone, which is why, I don't need to save any of my Vines from the app. I already have them all. Yeah. And when you post on Instagram, they loop. It's exactly like Vine. So it's the same thing. It doesn't have... Twitter is different. It's mainly for like longer videos, because it doesn't loop. Yeah. So...
This is my question for you, though. My big interesting question, right? You're going over to Instagram, that if there is a time limit, it's way longer than Vine is, right? Yes. We saw like shows like Arrested Development and that went to Netflix, and Community that went to Yahoo, where they went from TV where they had to have a tight 22 minutes because they have to have 8 minutes of ads in the half an hour time slot, right? But suddenly when they went to Netflix and Yahoo, they were allowed to make episodes as long as they want. But something just didn't feel right, because they didn't have that snappiness, because their episodes went from 22 minutes to 40 minutes long, and they just didn't have that same snappiness. And a lot of people didn't like that about the 4th season of Arrested Development and the 6th season of Community. Now you're going to you got the same problem. How long are you going to make your videos? You're going to be tempted to make longer videos?
I am very cautious about how long I'm going to make them, because I know what my fans are used to. They're used to a snappy Vine. Yeah. I will attempt to do... I can't do the minute or the 2 minute yet, because Instagram actually has to reach out to you and say, oh, you can use that now. Yeah. You're big enough, which I'm clearly not. I'm going to try for the 11. I need to start... I think I'm going to keep posting Vines until the app is deleted, and I will take them over to Instagram as well. But then once Vine is... When I can no longer upload to there, I will...
Every video you have to have a frame at the end that said, come to Instagram.
No, I'm not that narcissistic. Yeah. Just a couple of Vines. I mean, but, you know, a couple of days before it is gone, I will post it saying, you know, final goodbye. If you want to see me somewhere else, then I'll be there. But I think I will try for longer than 6 seconds. I think I can do it. It's, in a way, which a lot of other creators have said, it is forcing us to go out of our comfort zone. Our comfort zone is 6 seconds.
Yeah.
I need to get out of it.
It's tempting because you could do some amazing things with the actual length. Maybe you can do better. It's risky.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah.
I think I have the mind for it sometimes. Sometimes I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I have writer's block, but most of the time.
Have you had any offers come from it?
Yeah, I initially, when I started blowing up, so to speak, I had someone from a French music company message me asking me to use their song in my Vine, and I politely declined because at that point I didn't want to start doing Vine ads. It's like, oh, I've got this following, I've started getting a following, let's start doing Vine ads. I didn't want to do that. That's not the type of person I wanted to be on there. And I got offered by the app Flippergram. Not offered anything, but she asked me if I would start creating on there, and I politely declined because Flippergram is dead.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I didn't say to her, but I didn't want to, waste my time on there. And I Collab, which is a studio that Viners like Jay Cyrus, Brendan McNerney, Danny Gonzalez, they all work for Collab. It's in LA, and they represent Viners, YouTubers, Snapchatters, Musically users, which if anyone doesn't know what Musically is, it's where you lip sync to music, and yes, that's an app.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And it's popular, which is so sad. But yeah, Collab represents people, and they reached out to me and asked to represent me. And basically the contract that I had with them, which will be redundant once... Well, it won't be redundant because I'll still be making videos, but basically they have their own YouTube channel. If they use your Vines in the YouTube channel, and that it has millions of subscribers, this channel, they get revenue from ads from YouTube, so you would get cut a check. My Vines were never big enough from that point that I got given the contract to go in the YouTube channel, and therefore get income. And they also, in my contract, it said that if anyone stole my Vines, they would claim copyright. People have stolen my Vines. They are on YouTube. And I think, I have no idea, but I assume that one of my popular Australian ones is on Instagram. But it's hard to find when people rip your content and then they watermark it with their own shit, and then they put borders around it. It's very hard to find your own stuff and claim it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cutthroat in this industry.
Freebooting.
Huh?
Freebooting.
Yeah.
You heard that term?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about? Yeah, I mean, I'm represented by Collab for a year, but I mean, I'm basically going to have to, I'm going to have to start again on Instagram, so I'm not. Have
you looked into the Perth scene, doing some improv or something?
Not as of yet, but I am thinking about that now. That because I was so comfortable in Vine, I never really thought of branching out. But now, now I will, and as I said, I'm going to be starting screen production next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think I need to branch out. I'm being forced to now. Which I should have done on my own, but I was so comfortable in Vine. I was going to go over to the US and make Vines with other people, but...
Because most of the Viners that I've come across and heard about talking about this stuff before have been... they did Vine, they got big, and then they got an agent. They were like, do stand-up comedy, and so they were on the circuit doing stand-up comedy, and they do a lot of comedy, guest on comedy podcasts. That's how I sort of came across them. I was just wondering, you're thinking you want to take the more filmmaking side of things rather than the comedy sort of things.
Yeah, I don't know. My friends suggested to me that I do stand-up, but it's going to take I need to do a lot of writing. Yeah. And with Vine,
improv might be better, creating characters and funny skits,
I'm good at improv. I will say that. I know how to be strange enough that people find it funny. So yeah, I definitely need to get into a lot of things, but for now I'm focusing on transitioning to Instagram. I need to write a lot of stuff because with all of the 6 seconds Vine, 6 second Vines, I didn't have to write anything.
Yeah.
I remembered everything that I was doing.
Yeah.
Except for, the angle of the camera and the way that I would, move my face. But yeah, I'm gonna.
What's the longest you spent on one Vine, 1 6-second video?
Spent?
Like creating and planning, filming, editing?
Probably, I would say.
What do you edit on your computer?
No, I edit them on the Vine app, and there's this other one called Video Shop, which is what I'm going to use for Instagram once Vine is no longer there. Probably, I would say.
This is all on like an iPhone or an Android phone, yeah.
iPhone, yeah.
Not like an iPad, so you have more space to work.
No, yeah, iPhone, because Android. Not that I don't have anything against Android, but Vines do not look good if they're made on an Android.
Yeah.
You can definitely 100% tell the difference. But yeah, iPhone, you edit it on the app. But yeah, a lot of my time, probably 4 hours. 4 hours would probably be my maximum. Or I would get so frustrated with it that I would leave it for a day and then go back to them and try and cut, that millisecond out of it or redo a reaction. But sometimes you overthink a Vine way too much and then you don't find it funny. It's like when, you want to post a picture or something and you think you look ugly or whatever. You look at it way too much and then you don't like it.
Yeah.
I had that happen with a lot of Vines. I watched them too much that I hated them. But then I would show my friends and they'd be like, no, oh my God, post it. I'd be like, oh, really? Okay. And then I post it and then it would do okay.
Yeah.
Like, overthinking was a big problem, but, And the great thing about Vine right now...
We're getting blown away here.
Tad windy. The great thing about Vine right now is that everyone on my feed does not give a shit. Yeah. Everyone is posting whatever they want to. Like, there are no...
I saw you putting a lot of drafts. Does that mean stuff
that's in... You have, you have 9 slots for drafts in the Vine app. Yeah. So things that, things... that you have...
the ideas that you have that you've never published before.
Yeah. Or, if you don't have time to make a Vine one day, you have it in your draft. You can post it. So, yeah those were... I thought I'd dump them, draft dump.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily care about how well they do because, people who love me will love me. They'll follow me elsewhere. But yeah,
you have a YouTube channel.
Oh God, I've thought about it, but the effort.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have enough.
YouTube creators sort of, they have that whole vlogging community where it seems to be a real strong community where they're just talking about their day and stuff. And
that's what I'm thinking. What would I be vlogging?
Yeah.
I don't do enough in this city to be vlogging, and they vlog with other people who are famous as well.
Yeah.
So that's what draws other people to. Who could I vlog with? If I could vlog when I go to the US next year, when I'm amongst all of the Viners, that probably would get viewed.
Yeah.
But on my own with my Perth people, I don't think really people are very interested. I should ask my people what they would like to see if I did YouTube.
Yeah.
It would probably be characters, but
I think the lesson you have to learn is it's Vine is kind of an exception because it's so unique, but you can't just be reliant on one platform because, like I said, if you're a big Periscope star, I'll be getting on Facebook Live because I bet your Twitter's going to close down Periscope not so long,
Yeah. That's what I regret about not starting Vine sooner is that all of the other Viners who started when Vine started, they knew eventually that the app would not last.
Yeah.
Well, partly because of mismanagement, partly just because of the way that it, 6 seconds. But yeah, they gained a following, they gained millions of people, and then they went to YouTube. Yeah. Most people have gone to YouTube, and they're incredibly successful. Mm. So I started way too late. I mean, I'm transitioning now. Whether that's successful or not,
you're
remains
talented
to be seen.
Though, so you just have to focus on making good stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Also, I'm not gonna overthink it too much. I'm just gonna try and do what I've always done. Just write down stuff in my notes and then film it and see how that goes. Whenever you doubt yourself, you've always got to. I always go back to my Vines whenever I doubt myself and think, okay, I thought of that. I can do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll be okay.
The other interesting thing is I don't think, I think like you sort of, your followers grew as soon as you started getting revined. Instagram doesn't have that, do they?
Instagram does not have that, no. You have to...
You get lots of likes and you come up on the Discover page.
You do, yeah, and if you get lots of comments. And the problem, I mean, I'm going to post on Twitter as well where, you can retweet, it's the same thing, but it doesn't loop, so that's a bit of an issue for me. Instagram, you basically just have... I hate it. I already spoke about this on my Twitter, but I have to ask people... I'm like, tag someone in the video because that's how you get bigger. And I hate people who do that, tag someone or tag someone who does this. But, I don't want to, I don't want to have to, I don't want my popularity to, take a long time again. As narcissistic as that sounds, I believe in myself enough that I want to gain a bigger following again, and the only way that I can do that on Instagram is by asking people to tag their friends. Yeah. Because my Vine followers that have moved over there, it's not going to be enough. Yeah. Well, it is enough because I love every single one of them for watching my stuff, but it's not going to be 29,000 people. It's going to take me a while again. But one of the biggest things I've taken away from Vine is that if someone can relate to your comedy in any way, then they're going to be like the easiest person to interact with. Like all of the Viners that I have made friends with, we've video chatted, spoken on every platform, blah blah blah. There's no awkwardness. It's just you talk about whatever, you pick up a random thing when you're talking to each other and just start talking about it. Like it's the easiest friends I've ever made from Vine. But yeah.
Are you chatting to you're chatting to a lot of people in America? Like is it messed up your day-night cycle?
Well, I actually played a game on Vine called Townskiller, which is basically, I think we have it here, I think it's called Werewolf, where someone is a psychic, someone is a killer, someone is the nurse who can save people. Like the psychic can ask the moderator questions about the killer, and then there's townspeople. And we were all playing, initially we played 3 rounds, there were 15 of us at the start. It was, I can't name them all, but one of the bigger Viners was Matt Post. He has 1-point-something million. A girl called Whitney, who's great. Nolan Rosen. Oh my God, I can't pronounce his last name properly. Anyway, a lot of Viners, and we were playing this game, and we would all do Google Hangouts together and be like, okay, like, get out the whiteboard, figure out who it is, and why is this person not active? Are they plotting to kill someone? And we would all make death vines when we were killed by the killer. And I would stay up. I called into work sick the first day that we played it so that I could be, a part of it. And I was a townsperson the first round, the killer the second round. They got me like after 3 kills when I was the killer because the moderator told them they don't live on the East Coast, they live on the West Coast, and they're a girl. Yeah. I live on the West Coast, I'm a girl, and then other girls in the chat were like, were speaking about what they know, and I, being the idiot that I am, was like, wait, what? I don't know what you're talking about. I literally don't know what you're talking about. And then it was like, I had a big neon sign above my head, I'm the killer. But I actually made a long form Vine, like about a minute. Yeah. Revealing me as the killer, and what
does that mean? What's the long form Vine?
As in, it was like a minute long, as in like a proper video.
Yeah. And you can publish that to Vine.
Yeah. Because they have a Beyond the Vine feature.
Okay.
Where you can, I hadn't gotten around to it yet, but you can post actually up to 5 minutes on Vine. But it's not really.
Is that for vlogging and stuff like that?
It's not for vlogging. It's literally just for content that you want to make that's longer.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
What sort of people put up there?
Mainly comedy stuff.
Yeah.
A big Viner called Justin Russo actually did a long form Vine called Chicken Nuggets, which was comedy. It was like dark comedy, and it was incredibly successful. He was one of the most successful Viners. His posts always were very, very popular. But yeah, I did a long form Vine revealing myself as a killer, and that was like that wasn't comedy. Like I spent a couple of hours on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the trunk of my car, with like tomato sauce and food coloring all over my head. And pretending to be restrained and all that sort of stuff, and like crying a bit. And I got my dad to help me. And he doesn't mind helping me, so it's fine. But yeah, I made one serious long form Vine for a murderous game. And that was, I never made any long form comedy, which I should have. But, I was going to get around to it. I was going to start a hashtag and, let other people post Vines with that hashtag and then revine them. My aim was to get 50,000 followers by next year, before I went to the US, and to get a spotlight by the end of next year, which is where Vine choose you to have your own channel. And I was aiming for that, but, not anymore. Aim for something else now.
Oh dear. It was really interesting following that news along yesterday,
because it was reactions.
Yeah, because so many people that I follow through podcasting have either have like a big love Vine, or they've come from Vine, and to see it, it's like, oh yeah, we're closing down, we don't know what to do with it. It's just one of those things that's annoying, when things like that take off.
Incredibly annoying.
Well, and I'm not even invested in it. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, where are my SpaceX explosion videos going to go?
They'll still be on the internet.
Yeah, they put them on the thing, but it's not without the loop. It's just not as funny,
Yeah. I just hope that someone eventually
I know that
someone rebuys it.
There was a Pornhub was joking that they're going to buy it for
I
porn.
saw that.
Because I remember porn stars were big on it, and then I think they had to clean it up. Did they, or did porn stars stay on it?
No. They censored it. Like one of they had people, like, their job was to make sure that child pornography and all that sort of stuff, and like animal cruelty wasn't on the app.
Because Twitter's big with porn stars, like, because you can't post nudity on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, but Vine, they wanted to keep pure, I guess.
Yeah. Although they did like swearing and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like they have it in their clause, like their terms and conditions, that you can't be, racially insensitive or a bigot, all that sort of stuff. Which initially I thought, because I had a problem with Vine for a while where you could not find me on the app. Like when you searched my name, you could not find me. And for the longest time, I was asking the engineers, like I was getting help through Vine Help is like, there's nobody there. I feel like you send an email, there's no one there to help you. So I reached out to the Vine created development lead called Karen, who is an amazing person. And she, maybe a week or so ago, I finally was made searchable because an engineer came in early in the morning to fix my profile. And then we get this news a couple of days ago, and I'm like, that's great. I finally was searchable on Vine. I finally can gain a bigger following because people can find me, and the app is going to go,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so annoying. That's like my life all the time. Anyway, it was really interesting to hear you talk about that.
Thank you so much.
You should probably... the Vines are going to be up. You can go back and see your catalogue.
Yes, you can.
What's your Vine name?
My Vine is where you can just search Miranda, spelt the proper way, and then Lynton, Lynton. That's my Vine, and that is the same with Instagram, Twitter. My username is @MiriWanda. And
I'll put these in the show notes so you can actually just click on them from the app, your podcast app. But if you want to search live.
Yeah, so I will still be posting on Vine until it goes away. Yeah. And I will be transitioning to Instagram.
But you want followers on Instagram, so
I want them, yeah, but I'm not forcing anyone. If you like my content on Vine, don't follow me on there.
Quality content that's not just bikinis and selfies. Follow Miranda.
It's very rare. Yes. Yeah. So if you want to see something other than bikinis and Facetune used to the extreme, then I will be on Instagram posting my videos.
Yeah. Or musically singing, lip syncing.
Oh, God, no. I would never stoop that low. If someone paid me, I literally would not do it. I would not tarnish my reputation.
Oh, well, thanks for coming on, Miranda.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Make sure you follow her. You can follow Gimmerish Femme at Gimmerish Femme.
Oh, my God.
Tax on noisy cars. That's what I'm telling you. I just started an Instagram account for Gimmerish Femme at Gimmerish Femme, but Instagram is just like, I don't know what I'm going to post on there.
It's a very different type of culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Because podcast an audio medium, you're going to post a picture of your podcast. It doesn't. That actually attracts users.
And then a link. You do that, right?
You can't put links in Instagram. You have to say, go to my profile link.
Oh, God. And people don't want to do that. People are lazy.
Yeah. Exactly. You get no engagement for podcast stuff. Anyway.
Right. Thank you so much, James.
It was awesome having you on. All right. Bye.
Bye.